I'm Nate.
I'm Eddie.
Fuck.
I was ready that time. What was that? It's just like dead in my fucking face. Fuck.
I'm keeping that shit in the episode.
Fuck. It's like, oh, okay.
That's not my name. Don't hit the remote again. They're already watching now. I'm Eddie.
I'm Nate.
You're welcome to The Sponge.
This is your weekly social media cleanse.
where we talk about music, nerd stuff.
And hold on, so much
Oh my
more.
god, you've got a long note there. Shoot.
This is actually a very long note.
Wow. And
What are we doing today, Eddie? I
we're
don't remember.
actually doing a movie review. Can you imagine?
Movie review? Which
a movie review.
Is it an old movie or is it a new movie?
It's the next big thing Star Wars fans are waiting for. It's the film Titan AE.
Isn't that the movie that nobody liked?
No one probably knows about it either. I'm pretty sure if you were to type in reviews of this movie on YouTube, on anything, you wouldn't find very much. There might be one or two dedicated weirdos like me, but hey, here we are.
All right, Titan AE, everybody. So let's see. We've got Earth dying, and that's it.
Literally
190
the opening shot of the film.
Like 90 seconds. Well, the very first scenes of the movie is Matt Damon playing with toys in the lake, and then
It wasn't Matt Damon yet by then.
No,
but
it wasn't
he
Matt
grows
Damon
up to
yet.
be Matt Damon.
But the whole point is that Earth is under attack, and so the first scenes of the movie are the last humans on Earth actually escaping.
And
one
a
thing
lot
that
of them don't succeed.
I was going to say what we don't talk about is that there's about 100 ships with maybe 100 people in them, which means that we've got like 4 or 5 billion people that died.
That just
and
did not get to get on the ships.
And that's not even accounting for the fact that it's the 31st century, so we probably have like 12 billion humans on the Earth.
And then on top of that,
So-
there's in that opening sequence where the planet explodes, like the rocks flying away from the Earth, like hit some of the
true.
escape ships too.
So some of the escape ships didn't actually escape. But the namesake of the movie did escape. The Titan, AE as an After Earth.
Look, okay, we'll start it by saying this. If you haven't seen it, you really should watch it. It's
You've gotta
really,
watch that movie.
really, really good.
Okay.
It's completely unknown. It
yeah.
tanked at the box office. We wish it did better, because maybe then more movies would have been made like this. But then I have to remember there are so many movies that were in the same time period and did a similar sort of hand-drawn cells animation with digital animation that just didn't do good. And to nobody's specific fault, it was just a dying genre perpetuated by the lovers of the art.
Well,
And, you know, at that time, the art that was growing was the digital animation.
I was gonna say, yeah, was it? I guess it was dying. I don't know. Yeah, that's absolutely true. It was a dying art form. We follow our main character, Kale, who goes on an adventure to save the Earth. And it's a simple film done really, really well. They don't try to overcomplicate things.
It's not a long film. It's like 90 minutes.
It already takes years just to develop the movie because you have to hand draw the cells. So they're not going to add on to that time by overcomplicating the plot. So it really is Kale saving humanity by following a map.
Also,
and it's that simple.
If you take it from its time period too, a lot of movies did that, where it wasn't an overcomplicated plot. It was, here's the general idea what we're going for, and no clickbait. Bam! There's the movie. Very few plot twists. Very straightforward.
Yeah.
I could say that the entire time course of the movie might have been less than like 5 days.
Yeah, true.
Like, that's how long it seemed the characters spent with each other.
One thing that we noticed immediately about Titan AE was that it made no money, and by no money, we mean if I go to the wiki page, which wiki is always correct and always running out of money for some reason. Can someone tell me
Why
what the
is
fuck that's
Wiki
about?
still running out of money?
Wiki's out here like what the fuck is his name? The politician. I'm once again asking for your
financial support.
Like,
I am once again asking for your financial support.
what the hell?
Every
Like,
single
Wikipedia,
time
shut
I
up,
log
bruh.
on to Wiki, like I just want the information,
Wiki
and
is
they're
like-
like, we need a
Wikipedia
donation
right now is that one guy on the street that's got the little can out, and then at midnight he like looks around to make sure no one's looking, and like walks home, and it's like, what the fuck?
I'm at this point, the way I've gotten the
fucking-
ads, I'm actually convinced Wiki is like starving. Like,
right?
like, can you imagine? Like, Wiki is deciding to pay its rent instead of buy groceries, and so they have a house,
Can't eat.
but they're like surviving off of like
funny.
bread sandwiches.
That's fucking good.
And like going to work
and the struggle
and still not making enough, and coming home and just looking in their pantry, like those
man.
scenes in Tom and Jerry always, where they open the cupboards and it's
just
like spider
cobwebs.
webs.
That's fucking Wikipedia right now.
Wiki-
But anyway, Titan AE was made on a budget of $75 to $90 million. Holy shit!
They made back only 36
They
million.
made
of 90
$36 million.
That's half.
Jesus.
And so if we're going off of the 70 million, if we go off of the lower number, 75 million, 36 is literally only half of that. A little bit
Yeah.
more, just a barely more than half of that.
76 million. And then movies, continuing this theme, we have movies like Treasure Planet.
Treasure
in
Planet
2002, late 2002, lost a lot of money. This one lost almost $40 million.
Ooh.
Emperor's New Groove absolutely did garbage when it was out. It made positive numbers at the box office, but like if you see the behind the scenes footage that they've released since then of the making of this movie, they're like, oh yeah, this movie is garbage, guys.
We were
just
panicking.
like, because in terms of Disney, if we shift the focus of Disney, they just came off of the greatest Disney movies of all time, in my opinion, with Little Mermaid, Aladdin. I can't name any more, but they had like those 5 Disney Renaissance movies, a Lion King. They had those 5 Disney Renaissance movies.
I wish Brother Bear was in that same.
Brother Bear
but
was
it's
like
not.
that 2001.
That's what I'm
weird
saying.
Scenario.
All of the the moment 98, 99 hit, everything that was just hand drawn just like went in the drain. They were like, yeah, that's cool, but this is cooler. What the fuck? What do you mean? Why are you tossing out my good shit, man?
Here we go. Okay, the ones I was talking about: Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast,
Beauty and the
Aladdin,
Beast.
Lion King, Hercules, Mulan, Tarzan, and Pocahontas.
Wait,
in the
Tarzan was in
same
the
10-year span. So it's unfair to
Wait,
be
when did
like,
Tarzan come out?
Tarzan came out 99. So it's really unfortunate that Emperor's New Groove wasn't one of those. It didn't come out in the 90s, and it was right after those 10 just big hitters. But like, you see the point, and so that's another thing that really killed those these really great hand-drawn movies, is that there's just so many, not better movies, but so many more different movies that are new movies that are coming out. And so it's this old genre that's just getting swallowed up by
and
these
at the same
newcomers.
time, like Bug's Life.
Oh my god.
Toy
Bug's
Story,
Life and Toy Story came out
the
in that
first
same
Toy Story
span.
was 95, the second Toy Story was like 99. Bugs Life had just
And so
come
now,
out.
so now we've got Disney coming out, we've got Dreamers coming out, and we've got Pixar, this brand new, incredible animation
Heavy
studio.
hitters.
Heavy hitters. And then you've got, I'm the Iron Giant, and I spent 5 years drawing this one character. Can you take a look at my work?
No!
No, we don't want to. And just so I'm not bouncing too much, just to round out the movies that didn't do well, like Titan AE and Iron Giant, I mentioned Treasure Planet and Emperor's New Groove, but don't forget about Sinbad, Road to El Dorado and like movies like The Prince of Egypt,
Atlantis.
and Atlantis. They're just really fun movies that get overlooked a lot.
Yeah.
It's
And
really sad.
a lot of them share a lot of elements too. Where the main feature for me is right at the point where the artists were like, we can do these together. It doesn't have to be fully hand drawn because this here is much easier to do a digitally animated scene, so that I can do a rotating camera around a background object instead of, you know, having a painted solid thing that I can't move. And so you have, you know, the ability to actually interact with and get a fuller idea of some of the landscapes.
Yeah.
And you know, when it was used, and then of course in Titan AE used for certain character types, used for certain background types when they knew the background had to move, it was just done really well for the time, but it wasn't accepted as something that was going to stick. It wasn't accepted as, or rather, it just didn't stick.
Yeah. And moving right along, I'm going to, while Eddie changes the camera battery, I'm going to talk about today. Titan AE's best comparison today that we found was Lightyear. If you haven't seen Lightyear yet, turn this off. Don't. Finish and then go watch Lightyear. Because Lightyear is one of those movies that's like, oh, this shouldn't have ever been made. Leave Toy Story in 1995. Just stop. And we're like, yes, we get it. There's no reason for Lightyear to exist. But the fact that it does is just a testament to modern animation and storytelling. And so the main plot of Lightyear, if you haven't seen it yet, no spoilers. So Buzz Lightyear, the toy in Toy Story 1, 1995, is a toy based on a movie. That movie is Lightyear.
Yes, I think.
Let me say that one more time because I might have been confused.
No. Let's move on to the next part where you start talking about the plot.
What?
Buzz Lightyear is about a spaceman who gets lost in space. Not just lost in space on a, like, small way. Lost in space in a stuck kind of way. They're jettisoned on a world that has vicious prey and everything, and they get stuck out there, and it's almost like impossible that they'll get home. So the movie is about the coming to terms and coming to reality of this spaceman, and to actually redeem himself in getting everyone stuck.
Yeah,
when realistically it wasn't his fault, but now he's got to do something about it. And because he holds that responsibility on himself, it creates more problems as he's trying to solve problems.
Yeah, and one of the biggest similarities between Titan AE and Lightyear is the fact that our main character...
I'm sorry, I'm not going to get copyright struck.
One of the biggest similarities between these two movies is that the main character has to learn to let go.
No, you're still holding on! Let go!
And he has to learn to control only himself and that which is in his control.
Exactly.
So Buzz Lightyear has to learn to let go of the past and stop trying to look towards the future and just live in the present. And that's a lot of the same with Kale. He has to live in the present and learn that the past doesn't matter anymore. Yeah, the Earth blew up, but so what when you have the opportunity to make a new Earth? And so, you know, he focuses on that task, and he... Okay,
I'm done with that.
Anyway, Lightyear happened, but in my opinion, the whole point of this is that, hot take, Titan AE is better than Lightyear.
There are a lot of similarities between these movies, but one of the important things for me that makes Titan AE more of an impactful movie than Lightyear is definitely included as part of one of these newer oversaturated sorts of films.
Yeah.
And in a way where they play almost too heavily into the comedy of Lightyear, and it almost takes me out of the actual emotion and fear of certain things that are going to happen. There are entire sections of the movie where I almost was frightened and I was almost concerned about a character's life. And then they reminded me that it's a kid's movie by having a joke in a not well-placed situation. It's just about that, like, lack of punch. Like, I've noticed a lot of the kids' films nowadays are, like, holding back on that punch. When you could really go all the way in and be direct to the audience, and especially to a child, tell them the truth. Tell them that a character died. Tell them that everything is bleak. Tell them that things are looking bad. And then give them a reason to still have hope. Give them
solutions to finish.
Give them that solution.
Yeah.
Give them
God,
that returning to
That's
faith.
what Titan AD did so well, is inventive.
Exactly.
Yeah. Inventiveness is not a word, but just... I liked how Titan
It's
AE
really smart.
It was a really smart movie, and it gave me new ways to think about not only the world and my same around me, but it made me appreciate the world more, which is something I can't say for Lightyear.
Right.
Lightyear felt more disconnected, because they didn't feel human to me. They didn't feel as human. I liked the representation. I think there was an LGBTQ plus character in that movie, and there was more African American representation. And I liked how grounded I felt.
But that doesn't mean it's good character writing.
I was gonna say, and that doesn't mean it was good character development.
That doesn't mean I can relate to them
into a movie and say, here's representation. No, they need to be
You
built
can't...
up like a normal character for me to feel something.
I don't like that. A lot of writing nowadays is just like, oh, add a black character in and they'll feel represented. That's not how I feel represented. I feel represented when you represent life accurately. And then some of that even comes down to just the detail, right? Yeah. So like Lightyear, and then it's an even great comparison because a lot of Lightyear's plot is developed on scientific theory. Like, and it's really cool as a nerd to see.
Whoa, Sam, hey! We love a good storm over here, but you look like a nerd.
See some of that stuff actually worked out in how it would work as how it affects a person in a character plot. And that's cool to see, but they didn't really take it to the point where I was learning more about the environment and more about the character because of the scientific thing. Titan AE, on the other hand, as you were explaining with the jail plot, the way that he escapes and the way that he learns about his environment because of a scientific thing, it's like actually based in what would be the theory, how you would interact with this force, and it makes it not only accurate, but like you feel like you're more a part of it, and you're going, whoa, wait a minute, that feels real.
Yeah.
And it makes it more solid.
So, for me, to kind of put a closing note on one of the most underrated movies of all time, Titan AE has a Dune level of detail. Yeah. And, not to throw too many movies out here, but Dune's level of detail is shared in Titan AE, and a lot of story elements in Titan AE have been used in the future. So the fact that Titan AE was looked at for inspiration but never given the credit makes it all the more recognizable to me. I loved the character growth and development in such a short amount of time. Titan AE was only 94 minutes long, and Lightyear was... wow. Lightyear
Another
was
10
longer.
Minutes.
Lightyear So Lightyear took
minutes.
longer to get to a less satisfying ending for me, and that really threw Titan AE up there for me with one of the greatest sci-fi movies for me.
Yeah.
Because they did so much in such little time with limited technology, but still made me feel more than 2022's Lightyear.
Thanks for watching.
Yeah, I mean that's what we got for you today. Tighten it, you guys. Pick up the DVD. Pick up the VHS tape.
Pick up the VHS tape. Look, VHS
yeah.
is on the grind. Like I heard this one thing about Pete Davidson, like buying up tons and tons of like unopened old VHS films.
What?
Because now they're selling for thousands of dollars. If you find an unopened, like untouched VHS,
Gotta make that money.
You know, if you wanna start the new grind, go to
Pete
some.
Davidson is ugly as fuck, bro.
Holy shit!
I'm sorry. You just mentioned his name,
was-
and all I thought was his like broke stoner ass in that Taco Bell commercial.
bro.
I'm Peter Davidson, not Pete, because before 11 a.m., I like to keep it toned down and simple.
Whoa.
Like
Whoa.
he's in that Taco Bell commercial.
I'm gonna invite Pete Davidson on an episode.
No, don't.
Fuck
he's
yeah.
so whack. Bro.
I've been Eddie.
I've been Nate.
Thanks for watching The Sponge.
This is The Sponge. Was The Sponge, will always be The Sponge.
And like I said last time, fuck out of here.
No.
As you know, watching here on YouTube, there is tons more of this episode that you missed because you just happen to be watching it on YouTube. That's not a problem. Just find us on Spotify. This is a full podcast. We're going to figure out how to do some more platforms as we go, but we're going to leave the links in the description for full episodes.
Follow us on SoundCloud, too. Like, we put the podcast on SoundCloud.
We'll put it on Bandcamp, you know? We'll put it on everything.
Bandcamp.
Everything that it's actually on, we'll put it in the comments, you know?
Yeah.
Thanks for watching, and goodbye.
Peace.